Hi everyone, my name is Chris Fong. I started the Xoogler community in 2015 when I left Google. The community is now over 30,000 members strong all over the world. We have over 300 events. And I'm so thankful for the leaders who are going to introduce themselves as well as this event in a couple of minutes. In India, it's a volunteer-led effort to help the community in India, especially given there have been so many layoffs immediately from Google, but even the other companies over the past few months. So proud how so many ex-Googlers have come together to help each other. If any of you want to lead your own communities, offer different guidance, mentorship throughout the year and in next year as well, feel free to reach out to me, chris@xoogler.co. We've been around since 2015. And again, we want to assist people with this Xoogler Jobs event. Again, thank you, Arun, and the entire team. I'm going to turn over to Arun to introduce today. I'll come back at the end of today's fireside chat to actually explain more about what we're doing with the Xoogler Jobs platform and different initiatives. Arun.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Hi, everyone. My name is Arun, and I was in Google from 2006 till 17, about 10.5 years in engineering. It's really great to be a part of this event, and I'm one of the volunteers in Xoogler India. So I'm looking forward to this event today. I think I hear a little bit of background, so please unmute in case you have your mics on. I want to start by saying thank you to all the Xooglers who really believe in the community and forward to register in this particular event. A huge thank you to all the volunteers who have been working tirelessly over the last few, probably over a month now, to put this thing together while doing their full-time jobs. So really huge thank you on that part, and huge thank you to Chris, Kushagra, Daniel, and everyone in the global Xoogler leadership layer who really supported throughout this event. So huge thank you for that. I'm sure like a lot of you guys are joining from different time zones. So a very good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. I'll get started with the agenda for today. So we have a fireside chat that will be moderated by Raudra, and Raudra will introduce himself in a few minutes. We have an exciting panel of panelists here today. So I'm also looking forward to learn a lot from that particular session. Then we have an overview of Xoogler Jobs platform by Daniel. And then we have Chris, who is the co-founder of Xoogler Co, and is going to be a part of the Q&A. And then we are going to close. Now, a few housekeeping stuff here. So first one is, of course, please mute your device so that we have a much better virtual event experience here. Feel free to turn on your video. It's always great. Virtual events are hard compared to physical events. So we'd love to see your face. And there is a Dory page, so feel free to, you will see the links of all those pages and also FAQ documents in your calendar event. So feel free to click on that and post questions to Dory. And of course, we would love to have more and more engagement, comment in the chats. Of course, emojis are welcome. And of course, there's a FAQ that was shared this morning with everyone who registered. So that FAQ contains all the process-related documents with 20th of October. So I would encourage you guys to go and look at that, how the whole process will work. And that is something that will not be the focus of today's call. We are having office hours for that and email-based communication, where we're going to talk about the process, which is spread over the next couple of weeks for the resume exchange. So we will, I would suggest you to refrain talking about process-related stuff in this particular event. And also, please refrain from any company or individual specific questions as well. So with that, I would like to kick this off, and I would like to introduce Raudra, who is going to lead the fireside chat. Raudra, over to you. Thank you very much, Raudra. I think excellent discussion. I really enjoyed everything and learned a lot of things. Inside Google versus outside Google, resume, LinkedIn, so many great tips. I'm sure a lot of us would have benefited from the conversation for all the leaders who were there in this fireside chat. Because we are running out of time, I'm going to now request Chris, co-founder of Xoogler Co, to come and take over and talk about future and many other things, wonderful things that Xoogler.co is doing at a global level. Chris, over to you, please. And please let me know when to change slide.
Great. Thank you, Arun. And thank you so much for Rudra for moderating an exciting panel discussion. And thank you for everyone who jumped on board fairly quickly to agree to actually speak to the Xoogler community in this live fireside chat that we just heard. I'm here to talk more about what are next steps in terms of what the global community could do for all of you. For those who joined a bit later, my name is Chris Fong. I started the Xoogler community in 2015. It's now grown to over 30,000 members globally. And I want to make sure that you knew that you're not in this whole process alone. We were able to help and also hear from people in Singapore, in Bangalore, where I traveled to, as well as in Zurich, London, and also in the US throughout the past year. And we found new ways we can assist the whole community to actually assist each other as you figure out next steps. Please move to the next slide, Tarun. So here are a few things that you could do immediately after this to get plugged into this global community that you are part of, and it's a privilege that all of you are part of. So a few things. One, wanted to make sure we highlighted, there is a YouTube channel with a lot of the recordings, including this one, will go. Just go to youtube.com/@XooglerCo. You can see here, Laszlo Bach, the longtime SVP of People Operations, spoke to us a couple of weeks ago after a larger layoff that happened to the People Operations team. The main thing I want to make sure you heard from him, that please watch the whole 60 minutes, is one, for people who were laid off, don't take it personally. You were just on a spreadsheet, and don't let it impact your future. And I know a lot of people, including myself, saw Google as the highest thing I could ever have done and achieved, but there's life after Google. You were not born and you didn't study just to get into Google, and there are other opportunities for you to flourish even after Google. Watch the entire presentation. I'm sure you've find it very fulfilling and rewarding in terms of next steps of what you could potentially be doing. The second thing is there's a Substack where it's an email newsletter we send out every month. If you just go to xoogler.substack.com, you can subscribe there directly, or if you sign up to the community on xoogler.co, you'll be automatically sign up to the newsletter you'll get every month, but also see so many different events. We organize over 300 events a year globally, a lot of them online, a lot of them hybrid, a lot of it in person as well. So you can actually engage yourself in the community. And the third screenshot here, you can see this is a copy of the Xoogler Slack. Quite a few of you who heard about this event are on the Xoogler India WhatsApp group. But guess what? There's more than just a few hundred people in the global Xoogler community. Here in the red box, you will see that there are over 25,000 members who are in Slack. So please do go and sign up on Xoogler.co, where we will invite you to Slack. You can access it on xoogler.co.slack.com. And you can ping so many different people. I've heard over the years, people found jobs, not only because people have listed on the Xoogler Slack that they're hiring for a specific role, but they network their way in. So in the prior fireside chat, we heard that how LinkedIn can be a bit full of a lot of different other noise. But guess what? This is just specifically Xooglers and Googlers on this Slack. When someone's saying they can from this role and from this company, and they can refer people for, let's say, an engineering role. If you're an engineer, reach out to them anyway and actually start your networking through it. That is your advantage, and that's a unique way you can actually start your job hunt, but even understand what other roles are there. Something I wanted to make sure we also covered before I turn over to Daniel was two things that Laszlo had mentioned in his YouTube chat. One is, for all of you who are thinking that you need to find a job immediately, it's really up to you whether you're personally ready and need to find a job. For those who do, and I want to try to take the first job that comes on hand, what Laszlo said, and listen to him, right? He ran people ops at Google for many years. So what if you take a job and you find another job that's more suitable in the future? You never know what the job market is, and be comfortable with that. I think all of us were taught that we take a job, we'll be there for a couple of years, also look really bad in the resume. But in this climate, in this economy, perhaps it's a different way to think about it. The second thing is, I would suggest is consider startups. Why don't you consider your own startup to actually do that shows initiative, that shows you can actually go and execute a plan. And the third piece is the Xoogler community is run by over 100 volunteers globally. even if you have 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, this whole event was organized by volunteers that you can actually go and contribute. We can actually show what you've done for the community in between jobs. So you can reach out to me anytime at chris@xoogler.co if you'd like to discuss any of these opportunities or learn more about the community. Next slide, Arun. So I wanted to make sure you hear from Daniel. So we met when Daniel was still working at Google, actually, when I was visiting Berlin. And over the years, he wanted to support the Xoogler community. Well, he was still at Google. And after Google, he decided to actually run more events based in Berlin, but also online in the EMEA time zone. And over time, based on his background, he'll share a little bit here of where he worked at before, including Google. We thought it would be a great way for us to help more people globally regarding talent, because as we probably are aware, there's one side, everyone wants to hire Xooglers, and the other side, a lot of Xooglers want to get hired by a lot of these companies. So how can we actually create this marketplace for that? Before I turn over to Daniel, Arun, why don't you put the couple of links I requested? This is sort of an ongoing global talent application form process. The volunteers over in India running this program has a specific matching program over the next few weeks for you to make contact with recruiters who said that they want to be in touch with you over the next few weeks. So don't want to make sure you confuse the process. Feel free to put your details on both sides if you'd like, or put it on one side and we'll make sure it gets ported over there. So hopefully that you'll be able to match with as many employers as possible in the future. So with that, Daniel, please actually introduce yourself, what you did besides Google, and talk about this whole process for the next few minutes.
Fantastic. Hi, everybody. My name is Daniel Gilgenmann. Thank you so much, Chris. Has been an absolute pleasure to be working together on this initiative so far. I hope everybody can see me and hear me well, as I will talk over the next couple of minutes about our very practical process and how we could maybe help you to achieve a new hire or to find a new job. And I also want to thank the efforts that have been going on in India and the whole India community for the last couple of weeks. Then I've been seeing all the conversations on how to best shape this event. So thanks to Rudra and Kirti and the whole team, fantastic to see this process actually now happening. So my background, I was at Google, specifically for the Google for Startup sector. Again, Chris, you already said, we then later on have been on and off working together over the last 7 years. I've been later on also in the enterprise sector, in the working top tile for the German-speaking region in Europe, and placing talents for SMB enterprise companies. So with that knowledge, I'm trying to bring now into Xooglers. And I would like to really be open here to discuss any kind of need that you have on both sides. Really tell you a bit more about the process itself. But maybe one step back, I think, and this was mentioned already here in the call, we're really in a difficult macro environment, right? So I think this is really happening in a time that is, with the layoffs, a difficult time personally for a lot of people. So therefore, I think to have a tight-knit community that supports each other is especially important. So I'm very glad that I can take the time to actually structure this process, hopefully better. I would like to talk about one, which is the company side as a hiring manager and the other side as a talent. And let me start maybe with the company hiring process first. So if you are a corporate recruiter, and you're working for a company and would like to hire ex-Xooglers, you can register in the company registration form and via this link, and you will be asked a couple of questions. First, who do you need, right? In which time zone, which seniority level? What is possibly your budget that you have at hand? Maybe if you need to hire not only one person, but several people. And as a second step, I will then look at this and reach out to you, and then we have a conversation about this, how we can structure the process and go a bit deeper, for instance, into questions like your company culture, what is necessary for these ex-Googlers to what kind of profiles they really have to have. And the next step, we then go into internal process where we match that data with our database and find a selection of Xooglers that match profile. Present them to you, and then you might have an internal process on your side where you go even deeper into an analysis of matching these candidates towards your company. We do also, so we offer on the side of besides of this, we also offer different modules. So what do I mean by this? We can have contracting, freelancing, we can have contracting to full-time hire, or we can have permanent full-time placement structures for a full-time hire. So we offer with some partnerships that we have created now, all of these three options that give you the maximum flexibility for hiring ex-Googlers from budgeting perspective, but also from your corporate policy, as well as your maybe regulatory environment where your entity is and where you need to hire. And very happy, I left my email, Daniel at key.ai in the chat as well. Please feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to dive deeper into this process, especially to your hiring needs. Now to the other side. If you are an ex-Googler and you would like to be placed through the service, and again, we will try our best to make this happening, please feel free to register in the talent registration form. Here, you will be asked again these similar questions. Which time zone you are you able to work remotely or hybrid, or you prefer maybe even on-site? What is your understanding of your and what your salary compensation plan? Would you be open to be placed as a freelancer for a certain project, or would you really prefer be permanent hire? Whenever I have all these information of what you have done in the past and what your future vision is for your career, then we have a conversation, and I go a bit deeper to understand also maybe culture fit, other maybe personal requests that you might have in matching your expertise towards the next company. And in the next phase, then when I have your data, I match this towards the companies registrations that we have. We have a wide variety by now. We're growing for maybe companies of venture capital firms, or maybe also SMBs and also enterprise companies by now that are hiring specific positions, and we're trying to match this. When there is a match on all these layers, hopefully most of them, then I reach out back to you. I will present you the job, as I have an understanding also from the hiring manager, and we will have a conversation again to see if this is a match, and if you would be interested to talk to the hiring manager. If this is a yes at the end, then we will, I would just get introduction, as simple as that. And the company and the hiring manager on the other side will take it from there. There are no costs involved for you and for all the service. And if there are any other questions regarding this process overall, I mean, again, please feel free to reach out. We are currently testing these different models, especially contracting versus permanent placement. Yeah, really want to make this just really happening for you and adapt the process along to your needs, as we have ever-changing market conditions, as well as ever-changing needs from the Xooglers and urgency or a moment that you might have on a personal level. So, so far, thank you so much again, and looking forward to the conversations.
Great. I think we have about 5 to 10 more minutes left for Q&A. We'd love to welcome anyone to unmute themselves now and ask us any questions regarding this process, as well as anything else do you think the Xoogler community could be helpful to you on. Maybe to start with, Daniel, there was one specific company I was asking for India-based Xooglers. Can you share more about that particular opportunity so people are aware of what folks are looking for?
Absolutely, yes. So currently, we have a conversation with a company called Cloudwork, are from the US, but really a global company. And also feature here at this point, and they're specifically looking for engineers with cloud knowledge, means of course GCP, but also AWS and really being in Kubernetes and everything that comes to being a good cloud engineer. And they are building out really a center in India to that hire quite a lot of engineers having this knowledge. If this sounds interesting to you, we can clearly start the conversation right away, and I will make sure that you are highlighted in this process. And this is, for instance, one of the companies in India that we have in-depth conversation and having a long-term partnership. And as an example, I mentioned this here. Yes.
Daniel, this is Rach. Could you please repeat the start that
which part exactly? The company name, maybe, or we are looking for cloud engineers for a company called CloudWorks, and they're building out their facilities specifically in India, and there are many that are coming. That's a whole list. I think would be maybe taking us further than the next 5 minutes, but very happy to dive deeper into these opportunities after also clearly reviewing your profile and going in-depth conversation.
Thank you.
Great, Daniel. There was a submitted question by chat. How many companies are in the current database are based out of India, and are there opportunities primarily for tech or other functions like marketing too?
Yeah, actually, the positions are quite big range. I think clearly there is an interest, specifically in the engineering sector, we have I think roughly around 30 companies that we're in conversation with. And this is, as you can imagine, it's a process, right, that we're building out over time, and to use to further companies. If you already know that they are hiring specifically in India, and we're building out our knowledge base, and also clearly also our knowledge on the salary bands, as well as the expectation settings from companies in India and the talent from India as well, as we run this globally.
I think part of it is also.
I hope this answers the question. Any other questions on this part?
Yeah, just on point as well. If anyone here, whether it's watching this live or watching a recording later, know of any people hiring in India or specifically for India, they're welcome to reach out to Daniel at key.ai to recommend and for us to help pair up those Xooglers looking for the jobs, or you can just reach out to me, Chris at xoogler.co. We're happy to eventually engage that. I think that's the power of this 30,000 member community. We all can be helpful to each other during these times. And for those who may have questions regarding what's key.ai, over time, especially in January, Kushagra and myself were brainstorming ways of saying it's kind of a bit, however deep the impact was to Google, it was a bit selfish of us to think of how can we only help ex-Googlers. So we wanted to create a platform for folks to actually assist other people from different alumni groups. So we created this organization and company called Key. You hear more about it in terms of events, programming, other different initiatives that we'll run. But it's really the genesis is from the Xoogler community that now we're hoping to expand and grow into assisting other companies and alumni as well. So, what other questions do people have regarding the process or what we're seeing in the job market? I think folks were probably most interested about the India type of jobs that they were hiring. Let me see, did something just come in? No, nothing just came in.
I think Rachid is having a question regarding sales engineering. Rachid, I would say we have a conversation, the two of us, to dive deeper. Yes, of course, sales engineering is very much a position that and leadership is something that is very welcomed, of course.
So if there's no more questions on here, maybe we can push it back to Arun. I'll wrap things up, and then we can have more general Q&A before we wrap up today's session. Daniel, any final words on the talent front?
No, I think we covered quite a bit. And again, I want to say thank you again for this initiative. And again, if you have any other suggestions how we should structure this service for you, please feel free to also reach out. We are currently, as we go, we're building the processes and to make that a smooth transition for your next job.
Siddhartha, I think I saw that you came on camera. Did you have any questions that you wanted to ask? Maybe I'll get him to ask the question via text, or he can email you at daniel@key.ai.
Yes.
Great. I guess that's a wrap up for myself. For those who were impacted by the layoffs, whether it's early this year or there's some ongoing ones, we're so sorry for how you were impacted throughout this past year. I do know the Xoogler community globally and also now locally in India, we're activated to really provide as much assistance as possible. You have a great set of volunteers in India. If you go look on the Xoogler Slack, which is over 25,000 people, and people are actively hiring and actively asking people to reach out to them. So definitely reach out to folks that you can see on Slack as well to get access to the Xoogler Slack. You register on xoogler.co, and after we verify that you have worked at Google, we invite you to there, and you can introduce yourself, you can share what roles you're looking for, but also see many people who are hiring for different roles globally that you can actually message directly, and I'll be very, very specific about that. Even if you don't see someone hiring for your particular expertise, but you love the company, what they're doing, feel free to network with them. This is what the community is about. It's for you to actually reach out to them, for them to be a good community member. And that's what we did at Google, and that's what we are doing with the Xoogler community outside. And for those who perhaps have a bit spare time in their hands and can volunteer for a few hours here and there and actually want to help run more programming like this, reach out to me, chris@xoogler.co. Well, we've only been able to run this 30,000 member community over the past 8 years because of the volunteers that have spent many hours in their lifetime. So feel free to give back during this time if you do have a few more hours on your hand, and you make it a stronger community for everyone else, and all of us can benefit globally. So let's bring back Arun and Rudra. I think it's Arun that's going to come back on, right? Arun? Well, back to you. Thank you for this time to actually share what we're working on globally, and again for all the amazing volunteers in India to make this jobs initiative and this program for the next few weeks possible. And thank you for inviting us again.
Thank you, Chris. That was really great. I think really exciting to hear about all the initiatives. I think long-term solution here. Really looking forward to check it out as well. Excellent content and great initiative at the global level. I think this is definitely going to be very, very useful for everyone, in my opinion. We are at the end of this event. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the next steps, that what you can expect from tomorrow. So first thing first, I think first thing is that you have to make sure that you've filled in the candidate form and make sure that you uploaded the latest resume, because resume is what is going to be exchanged. Number two, tomorrow, which is 28th of October, we are going to watch your inbox. You'll get an email with a participation confirmation form. It's a simple radio button which will say yes or no that you want to participate in the resume exchange. And the reason for that is that we have been, a lot of people have registered in the last 3 to 4 weeks, and we know the market is dynamic. And therefore, we want to ensure that the focus is completely on the set for the jobs. I think latest submissions are fine, but please go and check, and that will green seal enable. the whole recruiter outreach team right now is working on bringing more and more recruiters on board. So that is an ongoing effort. We have few recruiters who are confirmed. So what you will see is that as soon as you submit the participation form, which will probably take a couple of seconds, we are going to start sharing all this with you. And the complete process for that, I'm not going to go into the detail of this. We covered that in the last office hours in a lot of detail. So you will see that there is a link in the chat box that I've pinged, which is recruiter interactions process. So please open it up. There are step-by-step instructions, what you can expect along with the dates. Please go through that, and that will explain the process for the next 2 weeks or so. We're also going to have office hours on Tuesday and basically 2 following weeks every Tuesday, where we will be giving an update on the latest as we make progress on recruiter outreach. If you have any questions, you can always write to 2023indiajobs@xoogler.co, which is the email address from where you will receive all the communication. With that, I just wanted to end here and wish you all the best. We look forward to hopefully have lots of resume exchange, and hopefully we can enable a lot of interactions as well. So all the best to all of you here, and thanks a lot for believing in this community initiative. I think, Chris, thanks a lot for building this community at a global level. I think I always tell people this is Google outside Google. Thanks a lot, and thanks for all the Zoogliness, if you will.